Hi everybody, this is Matt. Thanks for watching and welcome back. Well, for those of you that have watched my channel for any length of time, you know that my favorite plinking pistol in 22LR, my favorite 22LR target pistol is this right here, the Ruger Mark III. Now, I'm a huge Ruger fan when it comes to the Mark series of pistols because the very first one that I owned was a Ruger Standard way back in the day. It was like the original model. And this one is a little bit different because, as you can see here, I've made a couple of modifications. I've added a fiber optic light pipe. Obviously, I have a rail on here for a red dot optic, and I am running an extended release for the bolt, Hogue grips, and one of the world famous Volquartsen triggers and a Volquartsen sear, which makes this a fantastic shooter. This weighs in at right around 2 pounds and 15 ounces, so just short of 3 pounds with a 5.5-inch barrel. I absolutely love the gun, works great. Now, all of us have that dream gun, that vanity gun that we would love to have, we'd love to get our hands on sometime. And I fell victim to that at one point, and I present to you the Volquartsen Scorpion. Now, if you notice, this looks a lot like what? The Ruger Mark series of pistols. And the Volquartsen Scorpion was something that I really, really wanted. I waited about 6 weeks for this to get delivered to me so I could pick it up at a gun shop. And it's manufactured right here in my state of Iowa. Now, you'll notice that this has a 7-inch barrel. It has a light pipe on it, which is green. This gizmo right here at the front happens to be a compensator. Look at the bolt on this. Volquartsen did a great job with the bolt because anybody that's run the Ruger Mark series of pistols, how many times have you actually cut yourself working the bolt? Well, with the Volquartsen, you're not going to do that because it is machined quite nicely. And if you want to see the quality of the fit and finish, look at the gleam and the shine on that. That's how it came right from the factory. Absolutely fantastic. This firearm weighs in at right around 2 pounds, 3 ounces, so it's lighter than my Mark III. Has the same Hogue grips, the same Volquartsen trigger. Trigger pull is right around 2 pounds, so it is exactly like that. It has the same sear as that one does. And this is an absolute joy to shoot. It comes factory with what? A rail, so I can put a red dot on there, although I have never put a red dot on this gun whatsoever. What can I say? It's very lightweight. It's a great pointer. That green light pipe just makes it perfect to pick up that excellent sight picture that you want. This I would consider to be a competition gun and actually a race gun. I have had several bullseye shooters that I have let them use this on the range, and I tell you what, they absolutely love this firearm. Now, with all that said, this is a review based on my experiences with the Volquartsen. Now, first of all, I got the gun. What did I do? I went to clean it. And that's where the first boo-boo came into play, because I am used to feeling spring tension. Anybody that has cleaned a Ruger Mark series of pistol knows that these things can be just a little bit finicky, and when we go to put this thing back into place, we feel that mean spring tension, and I didn't feel it on that. So I had to call the Volquartsen factory and talk to a tech, and they're like, well, on ours, you're not going to feel it. Okay, that's great. It wasn't in the manual. So, speaking of manual, here's the manual that I got with the Volquartsen. This is it. Volquartsen Scorpion, and we have the cover page. So this is page 1. This is on the basic rules of firearm safety. Page 2. Page 3, general information and warnings about what kind of ammo, all that sort of thing. And here is page 4, which talks about cleaning the barrel and how to contact them. There is no parts breakdown. There is no disassembly nothing like that. It doesn't tell you that you're not going to feel spring tension when it comes to that. So before I even got a chance to shoot it, I had to call and talk to a factory tech. And then it's like, oh, okay. So I went ahead, cleaned it, took it to the range. It was absolutely awesome. A complete joy to shoot. And everybody at the range lusted after this gun. And shot it, put probably 300 rounds through it. It was performing absolutely beautiful. And I would clean it after every time. However, that's where wrinkle number 2 came into play. It took me longer to clean this than the Ruger. And one of the reasons why is because of the rifling of the barrel. It's a very precise barrel with a target crown on it, and the rifling is deeper than I've ever seen on any of the Ruger Mark series of pistols. So it takes longer to actually get that junk, that lead buildup and everything else out of there. Now you might say, well, what are you doing, Matt? I'm taking off the compensator to show you something. So I'm going to just simply unscrew the compensator, and let me tell you, this compensator is a little bit of a booger to try to clean, and actually it's kind of sort of pesky to clean. And I'm putting that in the nicest way possible. We have a target crown right here. I'm going to put it up so you can see it. You see the high gloss on that target crown. That's a beautiful target crown. However, this tends to get coated with lead even after just 100 rounds through it. You will see little pieces of lead right there, especially toward the bottom. Little pieces of lead on that target crown. And hopefully you can see some of that deep rifling that exists there. But getting the lead off of that crown without damaging it is a true pain. What I end up doing is I end up taking basically the backside of a wooden toothpick after I've gone ahead and cleaned this with solvent the best I can. And to try to get it off, I'm literally taking this wooden toothpick and scraping at it like that so I don't damage it. But this firearm literally takes me the longest of any firearm that I have to clean. And that is a downside for me. Accuracy, everything else, how fast this gun can shoot on the range is absolutely incredible. But cleaning, that's an issue for me. When it comes to the compensator, like I said, the compensator, especially on the inside, as well as the ports of the compensator, get very, very dirty on the inside. And so you're soaking in solvent for a very long time. I don't have an ultrasonic cleaner, otherwise I'd go ahead and I'd put it in here. But this is something that clogs up with lead because the lead coming out, you know, it's really, really soft. What else can I tell you about it? Well, this is the gun that I had the Kaboom with. And you'd have to go back a lot of videos to hear me talk about the Kaboom. But I had, long story short, I'm at the range with this thing. This is performing okay. It had been cleaned before going to the range. I can't recall at this point in time how many rounds I put through it, but it wasn't an incredible amount. I had thrown a new target up, sent it down to about 10 yards, and I'm plinking away at it. And I thought, something looks a little bit weird. I wonder if it's just bad paper on the target. Because instead of seeing holes, I was seeing little rectangles. I'm like, yeah, must be bad paper on the target. I went ahead, put in another magazine, charged it, started another course of fire. Probably about 3-4 rounds in, I get a Kaboom. And the Kaboom was basically, from what we can figure out, an out of battery discharge. And there was a little bit of a blockage inside of the barrel, and there was this big flash, There was the splatter of lead coming across my face, on my hand, everything like that. And at that point in time, I quit what I was doing and I immediately came home. I come home, break it down, I look inside of the barrel, and one thing that I see is what appears to be a big streak of lead that's just kind of going around with the rifling, kind of corkscrewing with the rifling. And it's like, what in the world is that? And I was literally clearing chunks out. The ammunition that I was using had not changed, not at all. I was clearing chunks out of that thing. And I got it clean. I worked on it for probably an hour and a half, just swabbing out that barrel, letting it have a good soak, getting everything out. And the nice thing about having these lights here is I was able to hold it up. I was able to look through that barrel, and it's like, it almost seems kind of weird in there, just like something wasn't right. So I went ahead and I took my Dewey rod, and basically I'm running down through the barrel, and what do I find? I find a little bit of loose spot inside of the barrel as I'm going down through it. You know, it begins tight, it loosened up, and then it got tight again. It got snug just the way, you know, that it normally was. And it's like, okay, that isn't right. So I'm not going to shoot this. I send it off to Volquartsen. I call them, explain that I had a problem with it, that I had a kaboom, and they were very nice about it. Get this sent into them. Took me about anywhere from 4 to 6 weeks to get it back. And essentially what had happened was the barrel got a ring in it. And for those of you that are new to the shooting sports, a ring in the barrel means that the barrel had a bulge in it. Now, this here is not the barrel. This here is actually a shroud. The barrel is this right here. This is steel, this is aluminum. So you have the steel barrel, which is approximately a 1/2 inch in diameter. You have a dead air space in between, you know, the shroud and the barrel. And then back here, you know, is what? Our breech face. And so there was a ring in the barrel somewhere in this location. Volquartsen ended up replacing it, and then when I got it back, I went ahead, took it to the range, and it shot just fine. But regardless, the barrel got a bulge in it. It got a ring in it. Why? Who knows? Who knows? Because it was clean. I cleaned it more frequently than their factory recommendations. I mean, I would clean this thing after, 100 rounds, and they say that it is recommended, hopefully you can see this, it says, it is recommended that the barrel be cleaned approximately every 500 to 600 rounds. Okay, I cleaned it more than the manufacturer's specifications. But bottom line is, great construction, comes apart easy. I absolutely love the Volquartsen triggers. I've always been a fan of them. This bolt is great. However, the downside for me is the cleaning time that it takes for me on this gun. Bottom line is, this basically sits in my safe. It's a great gun, but I don't really use it because I don't want to spend an inordinate amount of time cleaning it. It's a wonderful gun, it's lightweight, but that part of it just doesn't work for me. So before I let this go and sell it, just thought I would do a review on it. So this is going out of my collection just simply because I'm the type of person, if I don't use something, I get rid of it. But it is absolutely great. Volquartsen makes great barrels. They make awesome triggers. And if you have any of the Ruger Mark series of pistols, this right here would be a great addition for you. But like I said, I'm going to go ahead and part ways with this. But anyway, For those of you that have wanted a Volquartsen Scorpion, this has been my experience with it. Dealing with the people at the factory at Volquartsen, not a problem. You know, they were completely friendly. They were great to deal with. They did solve the problem, and what can I say? It's a fine piece, but in my opinion, if you're a competitor, this is the gun that you want to have. If you're somebody like me that just goes to the range, wants to do target shooting, I'll stick with my Ruger. And I'm especially looking forward to getting my hands on a Ruger Mark IV. That's what I want. So anyway, there you have it. Thanks for watching, everybody. I really, really appreciate it. And until next time, everybody, be safe out there and have a good one.